If you've been sitting on a decision for days, maybe even weeks, and some part of you already knows what you're going to do or what you want to do, but you're still kind of floundering around about it, this one's for you. I'm Christina, and this is a Clarity Reset. It's a live guided journaling session for business owners who are ready to stop overthinking and start trusting themselves again. So grab something to write with, grab a journal, and free up the next 15 minutes. We're going to do this together right now. So, first, what we'll start with is let's just breathe a little bit. So, I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes or just soften your gaze so that you're not focusing on anything in particular. And now I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and let it all out. One more and out through your mouth. You have your eyes open. You probably noticed my cat jumping across the screen. She'll probably show up a few times. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to do is pull out your journal and brain dump. And what that means right now is write whatever's in your head, write whatever's floating around in there. It doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to be a complete thought or sentence or anything. It could just be a word. And you could just write that word over and over again. But whatever is in your mind, just dump it right onto the paper. And we have a minute and a half left. So spend the next minute and a half writing. Even if you don't know what to write, just write anyway. Just write anything at all on the paper. You're never going to look at this again. We do this to move all the racing thoughts out of the way before we start like journaling and having the real prompts to answer. So that way, whenever you do have something to answer, you're not sifting through all of that stuff that's floating around. And if you're anything like me, you probably have like 5 conversations happening in your head at one time, especially if you've got a busy week ahead or you've got a lot going on in your business. Totally understandable. So just do your best to just dump it all out onto paper right now. You got 40 seconds left. Just keep writing. And if you don't know what to write, write a word and keep writing that word till the next word comes. And if you don't do this already, it's a really great practice to do kind of every morning, just 2 minutes, set a timer and just go. It really, over time, especially, it really helps to clear up all of that, all of that chaos that just kind of floats around in there. All right, so let's get started with the first prompt. What's one thing you've been overthinking lately? Name the thing. Doesn't have to be huge. It could just be like one decision. It could be a few things maybe circling kind of in the background. Just get it out of your head and onto the page. What have you been overthinking lately? And if something came to mind as soon as you said it or I said it, that's the one you want to go with. I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes so that you can really write it out. What is this one thing that you've been overthinking lately? Okay, you got about a minute left. It's the one thing you've been overthinking lately, or maybe a few things that are just circling in the background. Okay, start wrapping it up. You got about 20 seconds left. Again, what's the one thing you've been overthinking lately? And it doesn't have to be huge, it could just be one decision, few things circling around. The important thing is to just get it out of your head and onto paper. All right. Next question. What's the instinct or gut decision you already have about that if you're being honest with yourself? Don't start thinking about it. Just whatever comes to mind when I said what's your instinct or gut decision. This could be something crazy, right? This could be something that you're like, "Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense." Like it could be um there's here's the thing. Underneath all of the overthinking, there's usually a version of you that already knows, right? So write that down. Write that one down. That's the one you want. What is the instinct or gut decision you already have about that if you're honest? Even if you feel like that decision, oh, that'll never work. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself about it, it's not good enough. It won't work. Whatever it is, move right past that and just write down what that instinct or gut decision is. You won't get in trouble for it. And just because you write it down doesn't mean you have to do it. Just at least get it out. You got about 20 seconds left, so wrap it up. What is the instinct or gut decision you already have about that thing, if you're honest? Okay. Next question is this. What would have to happen, or what are you waiting on for you to feel okay with acting on that instinct? What would have to happen, or what are you waiting on for you to feel okay acting on that instinct? Sometimes we're waiting on more information. Sometimes we're waiting on permission. And sometimes that permission isn't going to be given to us by anybody. So get specific about what's actually holding that delay. What would have to happen, or what are you waiting on for you to feel okay acting on that instinct? Got about 30 seconds left. So, whatever, if there's anything else that you need to add to this list, what would have to happen or what are you waiting on for you to feel okay acting on this instinct? Could be more information. It could be waiting on permission from maybe yourself or somebody else. But get specific about what's actually holding you in this delay pattern. Okay. And finally, I want you to finish this sentence and write the whole sentence. Don't just write the answer. The instinct I'm acting on this week is blank. Now, just because your instinct says, this is what I need to do this week, this might feel like a scary thing to write if you're not committed to it yet. Maybe it's just a portion of it. Maybe it's the first step of that instinct, right? Maybe that's what you start with if you're really feeling overwhelmed by writing this out. But if not, and you got this and you're like, no, I'm ready to go, then go ahead and write it out. The instinct I'm acting on this week is blank. So while you're finishing that up, I'll just end with this. You already know what's in your guts. You already know the instinct. You already know the right move. And maybe all the bits and pieces don't feel perfect. They don't feel ready. They don't feel whatever it is. But really look at that. Is this you and your fear holding back because you don't trust your instincts? Or are there really loose ends that need to be tightened up? And if there are loose ends that need to be tightened up, then do it. So, I leave you with that. I hope that this might have brought you some clarity. I hope that this brought you a little closer to whatever that decision is that you are making this week. And I'd love to hear from you in comments. And if you'd like to reach out, really work on whatever that thing is, or if you have a business that you want to work on the back end operations, I'm your gal. Feel free to reach out. I hope you have the best day.